Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Dylan. I'm a social worker with a limited salary looking to work on paying off my debts. I've started this YouTube channel just as a way to keep myself accountable and to also share my debt journey with others in case others have an interest in this sort of thing. I've been following quite a few folks on YouTube for a while now, and I just kind of want to throw my hat in the ring and give it a shot as well. I got this beautiful diary planner sort of thing from Money with Gab. She's on Instagram and she also has a YouTube. I've seen quite a few folks that have these as well, and it's wonderful. It's such a good way to keep track of all your debts and like do like monthly progress as you kind of go along. So I figured what I would start with today is just kind of doing an overview of all of my debts that I currently have. I posted a previous video on this, but some things have changed. It was from like 5 months ago. A lot has changed. I got a new car and I have new medical debts. So I just kind of recently went and tallied them up, looked at the APR for all of them, minimum payment, and I'm going to look at the best way that I can work on paying this off. So diving into the diary, the first thing I kind of want to go over is what my debt goals are. I'll come in a little closer so you can see that. So currently, the reason that I want to pay off debt is just so that I can invest more in my future, while also being able to enjoy some of my money. Right now, as it stands, I have kind of like a loose budget for how things are going, but I want to be more intentional and more specific about which debts I want to pay off and when, so that I actually have like a time frame for when this will all hopefully be over. And so I want to be able to do that so that I can enjoy the money that I do have and be able to invest in my future for retirement, etc. So the debt amount that I calculated that I want to pay off in 2022 is $12,170. I went through, saw what was doable, and just kind of calculated how much the total would be for the things that I want to pay off. So that's kind of like my year goal. I'll kind of zoom back out a little bit. So the next thing we'll go over, and I'll just kind of cover that, is my list of debts. So this is the debt overview page. Let me come in a little bit. So I listed these like they say here, from least to greatest. And there's different categories that you can look at as far as like the minimum payment, APR, that sort of thing. So the first one we have here is for a Christmas gift that I got for someone. It's an Apple Watch. I've been using Affirm to pay it off. It's due the 30th of every month. $41.75 is the minimum payment, which automatically comes out of my bank account, and the balance that I have left is $166.95. This one I'm looking to just lump sum pay off probably next month, just because it is such a low total. I figure I can knock that out of the way, then use this minimum payment on the next thing, which is for the Visiting Nursing Association. I recently had surgery within this last year, and I had a nurse come to my house to help me out. and I still owe $233 to them. There's no minimum payment for this. I just need to pay something. What I have been paying is like $20 a month. But I'm thinking after I pay off this first one, I use some of this money that I would have paid for the Apple Watch to start paying for this. And then moving on to my next one, also surgery related. This one does have a minimum payment because I did set up a payment plan with the insurance people. This should be paid off by May. I'm hoping maybe a little bit sooner, like a month or so sooner, that I could pay this one off. But if not, I'm okay with this being paid off in May. The next one is for Samsung financing. So I am financing my current phone. Really, I should have just lump sum paid it off, but I said, well, I mean, it's not that much a month. I can just like pay it off as you go. Kind of regretting that now, but moving forward, I'm just going to be working on paying this off. Like I said, I'm going to be taking the total of these and then adding to this monthly payment to pay this off quicker. They call that the debt snowball, and I think that's the method that I'm going to start using now to pay off what I owe. This next one is a student loan through my university, $40 a month, still owe $887 on that. It's a low interest only because it came directly from my university and not like a private lender. And it was like initially maybe like a $2,000 loan. So I paid off a bit of it already. I'm just working on paying it off quicker. The next thing, more surgery stuff, anesthesia. There's no minimum payment for this. I do about $20. Same with the VNA. I owe about $934. The next thing, also surgery related, Catholic Health, no minimum payment. I owe a little over $1,000. And hopefully with these extra combined payments, I can pay these off a little bit quicker. I'm looking, at least for this year, to pay off these debts, not including this last one, but these ones here. I'm looking to definitely pay those off. That's for sure in my goals. We'll see if I can get to this one. Another surgery bill. I have a lot of medical debt, if you can't tell. I'm really focusing on paying these off because I'm going to be having another surgery this year. There's just going to be more bills and more things to worry about. And I don't want any of them to go to collection, so I'm trying to pay them off as much as I can. Again, no minimum payment. I do about $20. That's all I can do right now, especially with 4 different things that I'm working on. This one's about $1,300. Next one is Fed loans. So that's my federal school loans. The interesting thing about this, so there's only $1,300 left on it right now. And the interesting thing is I started off with about a little over $76,000 in federal loans in debt. And since I'm a social worker, I have the opportunity to be a part of this one program through the National Health Service Corps, where they give you a lump sum of $75,000 as long as you work in a high need area for substance use for 3 years. So that's what I'm doing. I have under 2 years left. It's not what I want to do forever, but it was definitely worth the investment of getting this down to like $1,300 from it previously being like $76,000. Otherwise, I don't know how I would ever have paid that off so quickly. So essentially, it's kind of like I gave myself a raise of $25,000 a year by entering into this program. So that's good. No minimum payments are due dates right now just because of the freeze on having to pay for loans, so I haven't been adding anything to that as far as that goes. The next one is for Upstart. I took out a personal loan for $5,000 to pay off some credit card debt. I had ridiculous APR for both of my credit cards. I was having the hardest time paying them off because the APR was just that bad, and I was leaning too heavily on these cards for like Christmas presents and extra things that I needed but didn't have the money for, which you should never use a credit card in that way. But that's just how I ended up doing that and got myself into a bit of a sticky situation. But now I want to pay it off. So I got a personal loan, much lower APR, and even a lower payment every month. I'm thinking about even bumping this up to $200 so that I can pay it off a little bit quicker, but we'll see. Because before I was paying about $200 on my credit cards and basically getting nowhere. The next one is First Mark. That's also student loans. So I had Sallie Mae. I had a bunch of different Sallie Mae loans, and I just consolidated all of them into First Mark, which is affiliated with Citizens Bank. I owe just under $14,000 for that. Again, the APR is not bad. I had a cosigner on this loan, so I got a better deal. Along with everything else, just looking to do the debt snowball to pay that off. And then the last thing I have on here is my car loan. This is recent. It is $50,000. When I initially saw that number, I kind of freaked myself out a little bit. But this literally is my dream car. It's a 2019 Jeep Wrangler. I love it. I love driving it. And I have no qualms anymore about paying this amount or having to pay this off because I know that I'm going to love this car and use it throughout its lifetime. So in the end, it is worth it to me to do this. I know. So that'll be the last thing that I'm paying off. All of this for a grand total of $75,000. Let me see if I can. $835.67. So just under $76,000 that I owe. I'm not super concerned about that because I know that I can pay it off, and I know now that I have kind of like a solid plan, I feel like I kind of have it more under control. But yeah, so that's my debt overview. That's all the debts that I have, what I'm working on, and I hope to share more videos in a similar vein. Maybe do some budgeting, some cash stuffing, that sort of thing. I'll get into that. And that's kind of what you can expect from this channel moving forward. So thanks for watching, and click the subscribe button if you found any of this to be useful in some way or have any value to you.